All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started here. This is Marcelo with Phasing Group, and just a little bit about us. We're your full spectrum broker. We provide everything from benefits, wellness, HR solutions to compliance and payroll. Today, we're going to be going over how to take control of your workforce data with a human capital management or HCM platform. We have Jennifer and Dan here with us today from Paychex. They're going to help with that and provide a lot of really valuable information for you guys. Dan, if you could go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Just a couple important reminders as we get started here. Please put your phones on mute. If you have any questions, go ahead and type those into the chat box. We're going to be answering all of the questions at the end in a Q&A session. Also, we will be sending a follow-up email to everyone with a couple important details on everything that we discussed here today. So Jennifer, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Marcelo. So thanks everyone for joining and thanks to Phazin for putting this on and inviting everyone. What we're going to do today is just between Dan and I are going to give you a little bit of a high-level overview of what Paychex offers in the human capital management space. And once you see that, hopefully you'll find some things that are interesting to you. We'll be more than happy to set up a detailed meeting where we can go specifically into your needs if you're open to that, and see where, areas that we can offer improvement and things like that. So I'm just going to go over a couple slides right now, and then what we'll do is we'll go over how our solution works, and hopefully you can see some areas where, it could make a difference in your current process today. So some of you may be familiar with Paychex, some maybe not. Just want to go quickly over who we are and what we do. We've been partnering with Phazin Group, and it's been really nice because they're an amazing partner with us that handles their clients' their needs on all kinds of different things. And we're able to come in and help them with some technology as well as expertise on that. So where we differentiate with Paychex in the market space is these four areas. So when you're looking at some technology solutions and maybe some HR support, it's really important to look in these areas, and it's hard to find a company that can excel in all four of these. So I'll go over in a little detail each one. As far as financial market and financial strength, Paychex has been in business for over 46 years, and we pay 1 in 12 private sector employees through our solutions, either through technology or through interaction with our client service reps. We also support more than 1 million worksite employees in different industries through our HR solutions platform. And we really take compliance to heart. Our compliance department carries far more size and experience than many other providers. So when you partner with Paychex from a service level representative and a platform, we definitely work to accommodate all regulatory changes as they arise. And then when we move over to technology, what you're going to see today is really from the beginning of the employee life cycle all the way through retirement. What you want to focus on here is one single sign-on access and a single employee record for all aspects of your human capital management platform. So whether it's payroll, hiring, onboarding, HR, time and attendance, we've got a solution for all of that, and it's one employee record that carries it through the whole solution. And then next, we're going to talk a little bit about service. So what is technology without service? And that's where we truly do differentiate. We, for the last few years, have been able to offer 24/7 US-based support. So for clients of ours that operate outside normal business hours from 8 to 5, you're able to talk to a dedicated payroll support person that can answer your questions and resolve issues. We are going right now on about a 92% resolve rate first call on evening and weekends after hours support. When you fit within our multi-product service center, which is our clients that have more than one product, so maybe payroll, time and attendance, HR, any variation of those, you actually get assigned a personalized, dedicated account manager to handle all of your needs for your solutions that will be your one point of contact. So that does differentiate us in the industry where you're not calling different people for different things. We've gone to an account manager for all of our clients right now. And then for those clients that need a little more support versus just our technology, we do offer the ability to have an HR generalist assigned to you, either telephonically or that somebody that's local that can come on site. And we're able to provide even more than technology support where we can guide you in different compliance areas, help with different things that are unique to each industry. So we've got a lot of opportunity there. And going on to that a little bit, we really find that every client is different for us, and there's a lot of things that come up when it relates to HR. So with Paychex, you can be assured that not only can we handle you from a technology perspective, but we're also able to help and handle any of your HR functions as well. So that brings us to our last service model slide that really goes through our offerings. So what you'll see after we're done here is, after I'm done speaking, we're going to introduce you to our flexible HCM, which is our human capital management technology. And what that will do is take you on a single employee record all the way from pre-hire to retire with our platform. And these are all Paychex solutions, and it's embedded under one single employee record, complete integration. So that's our technology. Then we have the option of adding, for our clients that need a little extra HR support, a telephonic version of HR, as well as an HR generalist with HR solutions. So we've got all of those areas available to you. And what we'd like to do, after you see this and look through this WebEx, if there's anything of interest to you or any questions that you have, we'll definitely address them after. But the next step would be, to reach out to Ashley from Phazon, and she can set up a one-on-one meeting with myself and Dan, who is our sales engineer, who will be going through the technology, and we can do a deep dive into your organization and see where we can help you. So that's an overview of Paychex on a general perspective. So Dan, I'm going to turn it over to you. So Dan Horan is a sales engineer. He's been with Paychex over 26 years, instrumental in a lot of our clients, and really kind of going through a high-level overview of what we do offer from a technology perspective.
Excellent, and thank you, everyone. When we're going through the key areas today, always keep in mind, not only are we talking about the technology, it is that partnership that can adjust to your needs, not only today, but tomorrow. Being a cloud-based solution written in HTML5, we're able to plug and play the different service areas that you might need without having to worry about what version, what platform you're on. Okay, we want to leverage the technology to bring together those service levels as well as those additional resources to help you manage your workforce, but also really leverage it to help you gain efficiencies along the way while maintaining your compliance. So it's important to understand, yes, we are concentrating on technology, but it's really those three main pillars that come together to truly formulate that solution that we call Paychex Flex. And when we're talking about the Paychex Flex environment, we are talking about a technology that you and your employees are going to be able to access at any time. We want to help allow you to make connections with managers, with employees. So we're going to be able to access our information from a smartphone, a tablet, from an Apple computer, a Windows computer, allowing you and your employees always to have the information at their fingertips. We also will allow that mobility platform to have the same user experience for your users. We want to keep it simple and easy to navigate, so when we hop from different platforms, from computer to smartphones, always keep in mind, same user experience. This also means you can process your information when you're on the go, from a manager's access, launching payroll, to viewing reports, to empowering your employees to reprint their own check stubs, W-2s, or even make their own self-service changes all along that employee journey. And we're even going to allow employees to toggle their user experience over into Spanish as well, freeing up those barriers, allowing you to empower those you wish to empower, all through the Flex platform. The platform is accessed via a username and password that is also self-healing. So if your employees forget their password, They can reset it themselves. They don't have to come to you, and then they'll now gain access to their information. It does not change their security roles, because throughout the system as well, you are going to be able to assign different user access to key areas in the system, to individual groups of people or functionality. It's all configured to your needs. We also want to make sure, as we're going through the technology, that we're bringing the information more to the forefront for you by offering you traditional menu options that you see on the left-hand side, to on-screen icons to access your information, maybe you're on a tablet, to fly-out menus. So now wherever you are in the software, it could be in time and attendance, payroll, your phone rings and you have to quickly look up information. Let's go ahead and reduce those keystrokes and gain those efficiencies by providing the information right up front. So I no longer have to close out of multiple windows. I can easily access my information, make that change in real time, and then move on to the next task. And another great example of that is what we like to call our live report information. And this is really the evolution of reporting taking place. Yes, we are going to allow you to group your different reports together for specific purposes or packages, if you will. We're going to allow you to flag your own favorite reports of information. So gone are those days of having to go to that report menu, find that report, process, and wait. Now we're on the go. Now we're simply clicking on that link from our tablet, our smartphone, and we have our information right at our fingertips. And where that's evolving more and more into is what we like to call the live report information, bringing the totals, the details out from the report right onto the screen. Now I have that answer. How much was my direct deposit for my payroll? I can move on to the next task. And really where you're seeing that more and more evolve into is really the analytics. Let's go ahead and start making your information more impactful and insightful for you to grow your business, to manage that workforce by providing these key insights like turnover percentages, daily head counts, higher termination statuses from different check date ranges, from different departments, groupings along the way, to even recognizing industry-related totals, comparing your business trends with other related businesses throughout the industry. We want to bring this to the forefront for you. We want to allow you to gain that control and insight to your labor costs. Okay, now we're really driving that information to a forefront. We're allowing you to get to summary totals for whatever different check date range or pay period you wish to, because we do not purge any of your information in the system. So you will be able to process reports that even cross years for fiscal reporting and things to that nature. But now we're driving down further. We're easily accessing the information, trending different pay periods together to see what is the financial impacts that we're experiencing from year to year to month to once again give you the details that you need to grow your business. From summary modes to individual employee details, it's all up front here for you as part of your user experience, launched right from your own dashboard access. Now, as Jennifer mentioned, one of the key things that we always want to remember throughout the system will be that one record of reference. So when you make that new hire, that termination, that rate change, gone are those days of having to worry about updating multiple systems, pushing and pulling files back and forth, because all of the different services that are built into that employee journey, that's built into that Flex platform, will always reference back to that one record of reference. It's about streamlining for you, your managers, and your employees. You're going to be able to process and manage your base level information on your individual employees. Embed custom fields that are items unique to your business and make it part of the workflow as part of your people record. Now we can make fields required if we wish to, as part of that user experience, so things are no longer missing. Or maybe utilize that information for report exports, helping you make connections with other third-party systems, saving you time. It's now your ability, once again, bring unique items into the workflow. Automate as much as possible, still allowing you to process your different recurring earnings and deductions by individual starting and end dating capabilities. I know that employee's loan doesn't start until October 1st, to individual calculation tiers and types, like 40% disposable earnings, so that garnishment auto adjusts for you, to the use of our gray little calendar, which most clients like to call future dating, because that's what they use it most often for. But I always like to remind them it's really effective dating, because throughout the system, wherever you see that gray little calendar, your administrators, you're going to be able to access the information and view past items as well. This is still your information, and you'll have full audit reporting capabilities throughout the system. Old note value, new value, who made the change and when. It's all part of the compliance, the consistency, the integrity of your information. As you manage your employees' direct deposits and taxes to calculate their payroll experiences, you'll also be able to manage their employment history, because many times there could be an original hire date that might be different than a rehire date. Or if someone does have that leave of absence, temporary or permanent, what is the reason behind it? Do we want to bring that individual back in? Now we're flagging the system. Now we're generating the necessary information to manage the future. Also, as you see here, when items are required, maybe I code someone terminate here, you didn't think about benefits. Now we have the built-in warnings, the information, ensure that information is no longer slipping through the cracks. We're going to go ahead and populate that necessary information right up front, because it's always coming back to that one record of reference. Now, for clients that want to manually add their new hires into the system, we're going to give you that option, or we can leverage the technology and provide hiring tools to help you grow the business by giving you the two main pillars, recruiting, applicant tracking, and electronic onboarding, all within one system if you wish. So gaining the visibility and control to extend your reach, to connect to job boards, to embed in your own company website, free boards, paid boards, even employee referral portals internal to your own business. Now we're going to have those new hire information, those candidates, filter directly into your hiring area, so you don't have to go out and pull that information in. It's going to filter in for you, where you're going to be able to pre-screen and rank those individuals to initiate the necessary processes that you need to bring that individual onto your business flow. Now, what I'm talking about is using a lot of these tools for scheduling interviews, performing background checks and screenings as part of a verification, to extending offer letters. All along the way, we simply want to generate that positive workflow to save you time and improve the process flow. What we also always like to do is embedding into that process, ensure that we're bringing in the background screening information to ensure that that person that you're bringing into that business, that unit here, is the proper person to bring them in, as well as tax credits, allocating funds back into your business based off of that new hire. It's all about leveraging the technology to get to the correct information to bring it into your user environment. And as we're bringing that information into that user environment, giving you the analytics and the information to always improve that process, to tailor and update that information as part of a hiring solution. And then eventually, when you make that decision to hire that individual, welcoming that new hire via email, a welcome message, and allowing that individual to populate their own information into the system. Or you can set up a kiosk and have that individual walk up to that kiosk that first day. Have them watch a welcome video about what to expect their first day. Allow those new hires to fill out and populate their information all electronically, if you will. So gone are those days of, is that a 1 or a 7? I can't read that writing. Or wait a minute, we're missing that form. They didn't sign off on the handbook. Now the information, the individual steps from filling out the state forms, the direct deposits, signing off on the handbooks, I-9 information, that sort of personnel file is now completed electronically. Now we're managing the workflow. Items are no longer missing. We're able to simply walk that candidate through that process to simply update their information electronically and generate the necessary documentation. And that's why it's so important to partner with a company just like Paychex, because we are that publicly traded company. We have the Sarbanes-Oxley legislation ensuring the security of your data. We have the redundant data centers throughout the country for full business continuity plan. So as we're collecting the necessary forms, collecting and storing that necessary information, you'll know that it's always accessible and secure at all times. But really, now we're driving that process flow, collecting those electronic signatures along the way, and now having that information keyed in from that new hire's perspective flow all the way into that individual employee's record, reducing the keystroke, that duplicate entry if you wish to. Please also keep in mind you can upload custom documents into your process, have them acknowledge receipt, download information. It's all about improving that communication flow, as well as allowing those new candidates to upload additional documents, maybe copies of their driver's license, certifications, as part of that user experience. We simply just want to make sure we're helping you collect that information and having all that information populate right onto that one record of record with one simple click of a button. So now we're bringing the information electronically in, we're processing, we're streamlining that entire employee journey. And once that individual hits that people record once again, now all that information is referenced out to those other key areas. No longer do we have to push and pull information along the way. We'll even help you and your manager stay proactive with their employee information from our ongoing HR tools by allowing you to create a central repository of helpful forms and posters that you can share out to your managers, your employees, so now they're accessing the correct information along the way. Track different skill sets, trainings, certifications on your employees, all electronically. And when we're tracking these key areas, attach those key documents to that license, that certification, track their expert or skill level, and their expiration date, all built into the system. Let's go ahead and get away from those manual spreadsheets, automate the information flow so we can report on the information, as well as send out proactive reminders to managers when items are about to expire. So let's go ahead and get ahead of the curve, so behind the curve. Receive those proactive reminders when we have anniversary dates or birth dates coming up, or employees' I-9s are about to expire, they have performance reviews coming due, or those skill sets are licensed. It's part of establishing that corporate culture. And as you'll see here, what we're really evolving into is now sharing key aspects as part of that user experience right up front, where now administrators and managers can explain to their employees different events coming up by sharing out specific calendar dates. Maybe it's an individual training session, or maybe they just have certain birthdays or anniversaries coming up, or tasks that need to be due, like approving pay rates. Now we're simply allowing the system to track that key information, help improve the communication flow by reaching out to those key people you wish to share the information out to, and spreading the word, establishing that corporate culture as part of your user experience from a calendar perspective to an ongoing dashboard of tasks in individual areas that have to be completed. Things like performance reviews, where now you're going to be scheduled and notifying through a workflow that, hey, you have to approve this employee's performance reviews part of that process, to allowing you to have one-time or self-reviews take place. It's all about allowing you to extend the reach out, provide those avenues of feedback, that information sharing internally with your employees, with your managers along the way. Please also keep in mind, as we're empowering those different users, establishing those proper workflow approvals. Things like, hey, we have a pay rate change. Who are the people that have to be brought into that specific circumstance? Let's go ahead and flag those individuals and get those people into the system to now have the proper workflow and notify them to automate that information flow to ensure that the right people are being brought in at the right times. That even includes when we're sharing it out to the employees, being able to allow them to access their information all online, where they're reprinting their check stubs, W-2s, viewing their own calendars or information to their own individual task lists. Like, employee, you have a self-review that's assigned to you. Let's go ahead and launch that information along the way to simply get to where we need to, growing our business with the proper insights at any time. We're even going to allow you, if you wish to expand your reach out, and as you're creating that corporate culture, even connect out to specific tools like Workplace by Facebook that allows you now to have a private group of information where you can send out push notifications to employees, events, calendar tools, have a conversation or a history, or simply allow that individual employee to view their payroll totals, PTO balances, even 401k recap summaries, all from their smartphone through a private community. It's all about leveraging the social networking tools or your internal dashboard tools of the Flex environment to help you build and retain those key employees by having the proper communication and touch points built all within your Flex environment. That even includes, as we're tracking these key areas, the ability to report on key fields from affirmative action areas, EO, VETS, as well as OSHA reports, to sending out just one-time reminders and flags of information, sharing out one-time documents for employer approval or messages out to all. It's all about now bringing the information to the forefront. Now employees are going to be able to have their information at their fingertips, review those company policies and documents from a handbook standpoint, acknowledge receipt of that new addendum for social media processes or that one-time extra acknowledgement on that documentation as part of their user experience, or where employees can review that company directory, those company documents, links, information that you wish to share out to them. Now it's all part of your user experience, once again, driving that workflow. And then eventually, as we continue through that ongoing maintenance, let's go ahead and share out their benefit administration, giving the employees their tools to now access their information where and when they want. And that's really the key of technology most of the time, when we sometimes forget about that, is keeping the system simple, easy to use. So that same place where that employee is accessing their check stubs, viewing their PTO bouncers, or making those requests, making those self-service changes, now we can also automate the benefit open enrollment process for you, still providing that electronic signature along the way, allowing your employees to manage their own family information from spouses to dependents, so we can bring those individuals into the decision process as we're going through our selections, as well as automatically turn those individuals into our beneficiaries based off of our selections. Allow certain pop-ups and alerts to take place to your employees, helping educate them of new items to review and pay attention to as part of that process. It's all built in. But as you see here, we simply just want to walk that employee through the process, provide them a running total of their available benefits, because this is a rules and roles-based system. Their classes, their tiers will control what that individual employee gets to see and access throughout the system. Provide you an audit trail if employees decline benefits, which is becoming more and more important through the ACA coverage, but simply provide the information to the employee properly so that individual can easily make their selections for their benefits and have it now populate over through the approval of your benefit administrator back over to the payroll screen for those recurring deductions, but also directly out to your carriers. No longer are we pushing and pulling the files. Wait a minute, things are missing along the way. We're simply collecting that information, 1, 2, 3, from the employees, then allowing it to populate right into your administrator's approval window. So as we're walking through, having those direct carriers, that instantaneous data transfer as need be, to alerting the benefit administrators when they have pending changes, like a new hire, like a termination, initiating the COBRA services along the way. Now things are right up front. We're being able to process electronically and establish the key insights that you need to ensure that benefits are now lining up to processing the ways that you need to. That even includes billing audits. We want to allow you to upload that monthly invoice to us where we can reconcile that information all electronically on your behalf. Okay, let's compare what the insurance carrier says to what you say. Reduce that premium leakage upfront as part of that process. Let's go ahead and do those kind of key services and embed it into your process. Or simply track the individuals through your open enrollment period to see how many have finalized or not finalized along the section, to send out those helpful reminders. Hey, you only have 4 days left of open enrollment, or you go with the high deductible plan. It's now all built right here for you. That even includes allowing you to have a full reporting suite of information, from enrollment information to demographic to billing to benefit costs. You're going to have that custom report building tool that's going to gain you the insight and the information you need to always understand all the information and technology built into each benefit platform for you. You'll even be able to process one of our standard reports, from declined benefits to full audit trails. We want to once again raise the awareness and give you the tools to ensure that items are taking place correctly when they need to be. And this is, once again, a live environment. So as you see here, as I'm generating the reports, I can share that information out via spreadsheets, PDF, so I can send it along to whomever I wish to send it along to, or simply have that interactive screen where, as I call that report up, that information, I can easily access the key areas to update that information with a simple click of a button. This is your information. We want to go ahead and help track and report on it at any time. That even includes a full ACA compliance arena for you, from tracking those full-time equivalencies to the coverage adequacy along the ways. Now we have both pieces of the puzzles, payroll and benefit information, to ensure your compliance is met and be able to report for those year-end information, those 1094s and 1095s, all automatically. Allow you to quickly see that information from a click of a button. Export that information out into Excel spreadsheets, PDF reports along the way. It's now really gaining and managing the compliance aspect from your compliant benefits solutions. As you see here, I'm simply processing the information. I'm receiving alerts when I have to take action with these full-time employees right up front. Along the way, it's all about, once again, giving you the insights, the tools as part of that automation. So as we're empowering the employees, we're automating the communication flow back to the employees, to the benefit administrator, over to the carriers, even over to payroll, to streamline processes to ensure the integrity of your information all along the way from a benefits perspective as well as an HR perspective. And then eventually, as we're processing these ongoing changes, these qualifying events, it's all going to flow in together along with those onboarding processes, along with those ongoing employee changes, to processing payroll. It starts really from a time and attendance standpoint by easily collecting information from your employees. We offer different methods of collecting time, from the traditional time clocks to web punching to mobile with geofencing and location to kiosk operations. We simply want to facilitate the collection of the time from employees to increase the visibility for you and your managers to really reduce that key expense, payroll, by sending out what I like to call the ABCs, the alerts, the boards, and the charts. Let's go on and help managers be engaged with their employees by sending out proactive alerts to them when employees are clocking in early, leaving late, working unscheduled hours, or approaching overtime before it takes place to keep that time and a half burden in check. Now it's all part of our user experience. Trend and compare different pay periods. Why do we see an uptick in overtime hours? Is there something to address? This configurable homepage, because it's not a one-size-fits-all, each manager will configure what widgets are important to them, will now be able to simply report on the key information they need to manage their departments, all while collecting that payroll data, from tracking budgeted earnings to scheduled to actual, all in real time, and giving you and your managers the drill down capabilities to manage that process. That even includes, for your employees, the ability to request time off information all electronically. Once again, from smartphones to tablets to the computer, let's go ahead and share out those payroll inflator tools like this calendar here that we can subject out different days for blackout purposes, not allowing individuals to take time off, or list who else already has those days off as part of a solution, so employees can see if I have 3 people off that day, I know I can't take that day off, to requesting that time all electronically. And since we do the accruals right here within the site, we're going to be able to project out the future balances. You might have 200 hours now. What's your balance going to be come October 9th? Well, now let's put in those rules. Is there a hard stop? Do we allow that employee to go into the negative balance? Or do we simply still allow that employee to electronically submit that PTO request? So now items are no longer slipping through the cracks. Your managers will receive those alerts as part of that PTO process, and now simply come to their PTO screens where they can track and manage FMLA leave tracking to the ongoing PTO crests, all electronically, and simply approve or deny that time in real time. It's now just about going ahead and allowing that information to be shared. We also have additional scheduling tools built in to monitor the information, the workforce at any time, from simple click and drag scheduling tools to ongoing revolving templates. Maybe someone has to work one weekend on, one weekend off, to advanced scheduling tools where we can break it down per cost center, per project, per task, and those available shifts if need be. And when we start establishing these shifts, even allow for electronic shift swapping so employees can submit requests to switch shifts with other employees within your organization, always allowing the manager through the approval process to approve or deny to maintain the proper coverage so productivity does not get interrupted. We simply want to leverage the technology as part of that time and attendance solution. And as we're leveraging that information, raising those alerts, providing the proper alerts and reporting tools, having the multiple layers of approval to ensure the integrity of the information. Maybe employees sign off on their time cards, managers, or even a third tier. Now we're automating that information flow to eventually allow those payroll hours to simply flow on over into payroll. And what I mean by that is no longer exporting a file out and then having to upload it and hopefully systems matching up. Since we're fully integrated into the site, simply calculating those hours and allowing the hours or flat dollar amounts to flow into your payroll entry window. Since we are integrated, we are also going to give you the ability, so when there's individuals that still need attention, let's not hold things up. We can send individual records over at the time and then follow up with the others all in one sitting. So it's really up to you how you want to manage and submit that payroll all electronically, but now those hours and dollar amounts simply populate directly into your payroll center. And once we launch that payroll center, please also keep in mind for those clients that have multiple companies, well, you can process payroll for multiple companies all at one time. You will also have the ability to process multiple payrolls and work on multiple payrolls at the same time. So let's just go ahead and see all the different payroll runs that I have scheduled from now until the end of September. As you see here, I can work on multiple ones, so gone are those days of those Post-it notes all over the monitor. Don't forget to double up on Dan's garnishments, or we have to void out Susie's check, set it and forget it, and then resume when you're ready. Import in outside time files if you need be, or simply manually input your information into your scrollable payroll window. Now the information is the forefront. We want to once again save you time by now allowing you to access that information, process it at any time, and make any overrides as necessary. From payroll one-time totals to allowing you to do gross to net calculations, previewing checks, or one-time overrides to add any additional earning codes, deduction codes, taxability. It's all up front here for you to manage your payroll. Simply get the information in and out of the system the way you need to process it, all electronically. Please also keep in mind, as we're making these one-time overrides into your payroll entry window with full labor distribution if you need be, you will still always have those fly-out menus as well, so you can still make permanent changes to employees' records while still in payroll. So we're going to manage that process all electronically, provide you those running totals of your payroll expense, and even allow you to review your payroll all before releasing. And this is now giving you those pre-processing reports to validate the information, to ensure that your employees are getting paid correctly the first time out so they remain happy. And now you're not having to spend time correcting situations by giving you the pre-processing reports without having to kick anyone out of the system, without having to transmit files back and forth. You're going to be able to see, do we have any shortfalls going to be taking place? We have to adjust someone's check or hours along the way. Or maybe if I split out those hours between different cost centers, what is the total employer payroll expense for that department, for that cost center up front? Or maybe just simple employee detailed totals from what rates are being used to their hours, earnings, deductions, withholdings, even the split out of their net pay can all be verified before you release anything to process. And as we give you that employee level detail, let's also give you the company level detail. How much money is needed to fund that payroll, from a grand total to the individual services like the payment of the direct deposits for you, the garnishments, the taxes. Provide that record that shows which information and payments Paychex are making on your behalf. We want that transparency, that detail all up front from you, from a pre-processing standpoint to a post-processing standpoint, with a simple click of a button. So now you're going to be able to manage your process, generate the payroll at will. Okay, you no longer have to send and receive files. You don't have to wait for it tomorrow. As you release that payroll, it will generate that same day. And now you're launching the different reports to ensure that after you process payroll, you're also going to be able to get to the information you need to then manage and share it with other users. From general ledger capabilities to your standard reports, they're all up front. We're going to be able to create general ledger export files or other file-specific formats as need be on your behalf. Please also keep in mind, when we're talking about reports, you're going to have over 100 standard reports of information to access and manage and maintain. You're going to be able to run your reports from whatever dynamic check date range that you need to process, previous month, current year, to, once again, custom check date ranges. And if that crosses years, think fiscal reporting. It's all up front for you to manage and maintain now electronically. We're even going to allow you to take standard reports and manage the different columns. We want our report building tools to be simple and easy for you to make that standard report into that configured report that you need with minimal clicks of a button. You don't need to see org levels 4, 5, and 3. Well, no problem. Let's remove those from the reports. You want to move first name before last name? Let's move the columns around, save those layouts so you can use them over and over again, but get to the information you need to get to, once again, seamlessly, quickly, effectively along the way. Now we're able to export that information into the proper file formats, from accounting software files to 401k census files along the way. It's now all leveraging through the tools of our report database where you can process the information, once again, dynamically or custom configurable, but really about sharing that information out. So now we can have those necessary reports that can list out whatever date range per cost center, their hours, their earnings, their reimbursements, their deductions, even employee and employer taxes, all on one row. All the details there within the reports will now help you manage that process all up front. So as you see throughout the technology, really what we want to do is help gain those efficiencies through all the different life journey events, from recruiting, applicant tracking, to electronic onboarding, to the ongoing maintenance and building that corporate culture through calendars and workflow approvals and tasks, those reminders that are going to now allow you to stay in touch with your employees, to the online and open enrollment benefit administration that seamlessly shares that information along to payroll, out to the carriers, to capturing the time, the hours, those pay adjustments, receiving those proactive alerts and reminders to manage and reduce payroll inflators along the way, to simply having that information flow over into your payroll entry grid where you can make those one-time or permanent changes. Then as you generate that payroll, allowing Paychex to do the behind-the-scenes work for the direct deposits, the tax filings, the garnishments along the way, to then where you simply can process reports, export that information out to your accounting software or to third-party systems. And all this is, once again, is built right within your environment. It's part of that Paychex flexible solution. And that's just a quick high-level overview for everyone. Jenny or Marcella, is there any other follow-up or any questions you would like to address at this time?
Thank you so much, Dan. Yeah, so we'll open it up now. If anybody wants to go ahead and type your questions into the chat box. We did have a couple questions come in, so I'll read those to you now. How long would the implementation process take for something like this?
I can take that. This is Jenny. It depends on the size of the organization. So we have a SLA based on size of organization and then solution that you need. So for a smaller company, we have a really quick couple-day turnaround. For a company of about 100 employees, it's normally about 4 weeks. And then for somebody over 300, it's usually about 6 to 8 weeks. So that's kind of a rough estimate.
Okay, perfect. And is there a minimum number of employees needed?
No.
And how would the pricing work? Is that based on module, or how does that work?
It is. Yeah, when we get to that, that's something that we would do more on the individual basis, because it's going to depend on what options they want to subscribe to. But we can turn that around pretty quick. That would be just a real quick, deep dive needs analysis into what you're looking to do, and then we can give that over to you.
Okay, perfect. That was all the questions we had. So I just want to remind everybody that we will be sending a follow-up email tomorrow. It's going to include a recording of the webinar. And I want to thank everybody for attending, and thank you, Jennifer and Dan, for doing such a great job presenting.
Thank you everyone for attending. Yeah, we really appreciate the opportunity, and thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.